Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest business chat with me, Glenys Chatterley from EBN. Stands for Effective Business Network. Might decide to stop saying that in the future. Anyway, today I've got one of my fantastic guests with me. Today I've got the amazing Sam Lindsay, and she's made it easy for me because she's not only put a name on the screen, she's put a poster behind it. It's a pop-up banner, is it, that I'm looking at?
It is, yeah.
There we go. So, how are you doing, my lovely?
Yeah, doing really well. Thank you, Glenys. Thank you for having me on.
You are more than welcome. And just as an aside, don't we all love her fabulous sort of 1960s look outfit? Wonderful. Really made the effort.
Blush.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Made the effort, and isn't it worth it? So today we're going to talk about your business, what you do, all that stuff. So tell me a little bit about you and why it is you do what you do instead of something else.
Okay, so I founded My Mortgage Angel almost 6 years ago now, and coincidentally on the day that the Brexit vote was announced. I don't know if that was a good omen or a bad omen.
It was something, yeah.
Previous to that, I worked in London. I worked in Euston. It was a lovely company I worked for, but I didn't want to do the commute anymore. I was like, well, an hour and 40 minutes away each way, and family commitments all just kind of piled in, and I just felt like I needed to do something where I was being fair to myself, but I was also being fair to the people I was working for and the family. And I'm a people pleaser. I want to make people happy, and I want to make things as easy as I can for people. So I studied my mortgage exams years ago, about 17 years ago now, and I flew through them all actually. So I've obviously got a bit of a knack for it, and I really enjoy it. And there was a time where I actually did my own mortgage. I went into the bank directly, who shall remain nameless. And I said, I'd like a 2-year fixed rate mortgage, please. And they said, oh, no, you need to see a mortgage advisor. And I don't joke, 4 hours later, he said, I think you need a 2-year fixed rate mortgage. Which I was like, there's got to be an easier way than this.
Yeah.
So done some research and found a way of getting on board with mortgages myself. I found a fabulous network, Quilter Financial Planning, who've got some great stuff. They've got very high standards of who they have. We have to take regular exams to stay on panel with them, but it felt like a good fit with me. I've got very high standards myself, which I think is why naturally just progressed to working for myself. And now I've got a couple of people that work with me, one of them full-time. I've got some other people that do part-time stuff, because running a business is really tough. It's you not only have you got to be fantastic at mortgages and protection, but there's also so much other stuff going on. And I don't want to be master of all those different things. So I sub out whatever I can, whatever I'm not an expert in, I send out. And I think that's the way you should run a business. But yeah, everybody's different. But yeah, 6 years in, and I'm still enjoying it. So
and you're still here, and that's all. I think people don't give themselves a pat on the back for you're still here. You know, things may be tough. Things may be difficult, things may be whatever, but still here. And that's the important thing, is still doing something that you love to do. I mean, that's funny because I was going to ask you lots of other bits, but you've answered some of the bits. So we'll come back to them as we go through, because otherwise I'll get confused, and it's making me nose itchy being confused. So tell me what it is you like about mortgages.
I think it's simplifying them to clients. And when you can see that penny drop, I didn't realise that was what that meant. And we talk through the illustrations, that's like a 7-page document that you're sending to people. And legally, we have to send them out, and comparisons of if you add fees and if you don't add fees, and if you debt consolidate, so many different things. We're sending all this paperwork over, but we actually take the time and we go through that document line by line. This is what that means. This is what that means. And just that light bulb moment at the end, that just kind of makes it all worthwhile to me. I work with a lot of first-time buyers. I tend to find a lot of divorcees gravitate towards me, I think, because we don't charge fees, and because we advertise ourselves as friendly mortgage advice, because I don't want anyone to walk out of my office thinking I don't know what she's talking about. We do take that time, and for people to understand mortgage is a big commitment, and yeah, I think they're really easy, but I've done quite a lot of training and I've been doing it day in, day out.
And it's knowing your stuff, really. I think if you, I was talking to somebody earlier today about risk assessments, which was a fascinating conversation, I have to say. Now, I used to, as part of what I did, I used to do risk assessments all the time. And I can remember being completely overwhelmed the first time, and then not so much the second time. And once I'd got to about 372, I could have done that, knitted a jumper and watched some TV. And this was his first risk assessment. And he went, oh, and I went, dead easy. This is what it means. I know that's what it says, but this is what it means. And this is what you have to do. But it is that, isn't it? It's about knowing subjects and being able to pass that knowledge on to other people.
Yeah.
So if I was looking for a mortgage advisor, and of course, you know, you're number one, but if I was looking for a mortgage advisor, what sort of things should I be asking of a potential mortgage advisor? Give me three.
Well, I think first and foremost, one of our biggest USPs is the fact that we don't charge a fee. And because we've got a beautiful office in my garden, so I've got very low overheads. It works really well with the family dynamics. It's client facing, there's parking out the front, everybody can get here, you know, it works really well for the business. It means I can work the hours that I need to and not have to worry about childcare and things like that. But where that money comes from, all of the providers pay a commission to the mortgage brokers, and typically across the board, it's 0.4% of what you borrow is what we get paid in commission. And where it comes from is if you were to go to a bank directly, they've got to pay a qualified member of staff to sit down and talk to you, go through your paperwork, and then submit that data on their system. We do that for them. So the money they save in staff fees is where that 0.4% comes from. Yeah. So I spend all day, every day explaining that to clients of it's the same mortgage, whether you come through me or whether you go to them directly, but you don't have to have the 4-hour meeting with them banging your head against a brick wall. You can just talk to me instead. Yeah. So that fees, I think, is number one. So fees is number one. Know what you're paying and why you're paying what you're paying and who it's coming from. Absolutely. Yeah. Number two would be where is the advice? We're whole of market, completely independent, so we can recommend any mortgage or life insurance that's right for our clients. Right. Not everybody is like that. It's actually more expensive to be completely independent, to be authorised to be completely independent than it is to be restricted, because obviously you can understand. And I don't know how far the restrictions are, because I was always definitely going to be independent. If you've only got 20 lenders on panel, it's easier to understand those 20 lenders. If you've got an unlimited number, then it's harder. So you can understand from a compliance point of view why there are the restrictions on that. So that'd be number two. Make sure that you understand the pool of mortgages that you're looking at. Right. Yep. And number three. Number three, I think that's a little bit tough. I would say you've got to trust who you're working with. It's that confidence, being able to pick up the phone and go, Sam, I don't understand what this means. And you've sent me this 18-page report because that's what we have to do. But this bit doesn't make sense. So being able to ask the questions. And with mortgage applications, we have to really understand the finances in detail. I have to go through bank statements for potentially up to 6 months. Standard is 3 months, and I'm looking at people's personal finances and I'm saying, how much have you got on that credit card, and how much do you actually spend at Waitrose on your shopping every month, and have you thought about shopping anywhere different? So really, I think you've got to have confidence in who you're talking to be able to have those honest conversations. Yeah, and I think one of the trends I've noticed throughout sort of threads throughout all the interviews I've ever done is around people saying have to trust and like who you're dealing with, because particularly with things like you're dealing with, you're talking about very personal levels, and you may well be in somebody's home talking about that stuff. So yeah, I think you're right. So relatively new business, and you've already given me, I usually ask for
top 3 tips for somebody starting a business. So you've already given me one, which is around make sure that you, well, in your opinion, it's about getting other people to do stuff that you either don't want to or don't want to focus on or whatever. And it means that you can focus on what you do really well, which is the mortgage part. So give me 2 other tips, 2 things that you wish your 6 years ago self had known.
Well, the other 2 that I've got written down,
Okay.
Networking and get a business coach. But they're actually things that I did do straight away.
Yeah.
The last business I worked for an amazing lady, and she taught me so much. Not that I ever considered working for myself at that point, but I was her PA, and I saw what she did, and I saw how successful she was and how happy she was in what she did. And she was always on about networking. So when I set up my business, one of the first things I did was I got in touch with it was a women's network actually, and I'm still a member today. And that you meet people around that table. Any network that you go to, you're going to be sat next to somebody and you don't know who they are. And it's that open mind of, okay, let's have a conversation. What do you do? What do I do? Oh, I might be able to help you, or you might be able to help me. It's not always about business. I've gone from working in a really busy office in London to sitting in my garden on my own, and all I'm doing is talking to clients all day, and then providers, and the providers are actually a lot less fun to talk to than the clients. You've got nobody sat next to you saying, oh, how did you get on with that thing at the weekend? And there's no one to share the joy of, I've just got this mortgage offer for this client and I've worked so hard for it. So to me, the networking was a personal support with like-minded people. And I've met so many fantastic people that have changed my business, my life, my family, where I holiday, what I dress, like my hair, absolutely everything. It's really been influenced by networking. So definitely join a membership network, because you're turning up every fortnight, every month, however frequent your network is. And you have to be trusted and you have to be the expert in that field. If you make a mistake in that network, like, you're dead to that network. So I think anyone who's brave enough to join a membership network, I already trust them, because they wouldn't put themselves out there in that position unless they were good at what they did. So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And live by that.
And the other one, you said have a business coach. I am a great believer in this. I think you need to have somebody who can make you question what you're doing and the way that you are doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's that thick person who says, well, why do you do that? And you go, because that's the way I've always done it. And it seemed like a good idea at the time. But I think most people I know have a business coach, or they have somebody that they can go to talk business. I mean, we have a thing called an EBN called EBN Diamond. And it's 15 people who get together every couple of months, and they're not the same people. And it's sort of that boardroom. And one of the people who are almost always at them, he says, well, why wouldn't I? It means I've got a board and in my business that I don't really have, you know, and my business. But I think you need somebody who isn't in your business, who can give you that objective view, you know. Yeah, I'm very much of mind of that. It's and I've had a business coach. I don't at the minute, but again, I was actually talking about that earlier. I don't have and I see it as being a sort of a mentor role. Just somebody who says a bit of it is get over yourself and stop messing about, or well, why haven't you done that? And you said you would, and is it not that important? And you know, but I think it's that you need to have somebody who can be really straight with you, objective with you, isn't part of the business, and you can trust. We're back to that, really, aren't we? So
absolutely.
yeah.
And again, that's what they're expert at. So right at the beginning, I said use experts for what they do.
Yeah.
Basic questions. You know, I've left the London world. I don't want to get involved with that anymore because that's not what I do. I'm going to run my own business. And the first question is, who's your ideal client? But, oh yeah, I used to do this at work. And then, oh, and well, what about this? And then, oh yeah, I used to do that. And all of those things that were just mundane jobs all of a sudden become really relevant and shape you making decisions. Whereas I was off on that direction. And my business coach said, you know what, with your target market, you should be doing like school fetes and Christmas bazaars and stuff. I was like, I can't sell mortgages on a playing field. Well, apparently I can. I sold 9 on my first ever outing for £25. Maybe she's got something in this. So last weekend I was at a wedding fair selling mortgages. You know, they're crazy things that I never have come up with on my own.
Because they've got different experience and also I think it's that because they don't know your business, as you know, that's not what they do. They can think slightly more radical than you can. I think any outsider won't understand completely what you do, and that you don't want them to. What you want them to understand is, well, why do you do it that way? What is it about that way? And have you thought of that one? And you think, okay, no, I've not thought of that one. Let me go away and sort of scratch my head for a bit and then come back. That. So
But they can also see different parts of your character that you can't always see yourself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said that I was very good at events because they terrify me, and I hate, even when you have to do your minute at a networking event, it's much better when you sat down, but when you've got to stand up and talk to somebody for a minute, it's like you're bragging and the big I am, and that's really not about me at all. But everyone else looking at me probably maybe sees a different person to the scared little child inside.
Yes. And I think people can, you know, anybody who knows me knows and I'm told this, so it must be true, that I come over as extremely confident. But there are days where I have to get out of the car and go, come on, you can do this. You know, this is not one of my confident days, but I can take this because I know what it looks like. Yeah. And it's that thing about, my phrase is get over yourself. People say to me, oh, like that, you know, well, you're a business owner, you're going to have to do that. And it's not bragging, it's informing. And as long as you think of it as bragging, not as informing, not bragging, you're all right, you know, but people want to know what it is you do, you know. So so you've got your shed, and it was lovely before. You said, well, I'm sat in my garden, and I thought, ooh, that must be difficult in winter. But lately you've got an office somewhere in your garden that's you're like the fairy at the end of the garden, are you? So
my husband's at the end of the garden, I'm part way down the garden. I've only got 3 steps from the house, so I have got garden slippers though.
Fantastic. Yeah, you have to get organized, really, don't you? Do you know what I mean? It's I love the fact that in business, especially these days when we're doing Zoom, you know, you can be wearing whatever, and as long as you look and you remember not to stand up. Somebody was telling me recently they had a meeting with somebody which was going extremely well, and then the doorbell rang, and this woman said, is it okay if I just, and she stood up and she had pajama bottoms on. And she didn't sell sleepwear as a business, so you know, you just imagine she's also probably got fluffy slippers on, you know what I mean? So, which I've not. I'll just, you know, let's be. I've made the effort. As Sam
I've got proper shoes on, and I'm wearing a whole dress. So
yeah, a whole dress. That's all you can ask for in life, really. Somebody's wearing a whole dress. So, when you're not doing business, what are you doing? You've got 2 children. Yeah,
I've got 2 children. Yes, Henry is 11 and Arthur is 9, so they keep me busy. What do? We like to do bike rides as a family. We like to do walking. One of my big passions is PT, personal training. You know, I work with a personal trainer over Zoom, actually. She's amazing. She's an ex police officer, so she doesn't take any falls. But it's just that extra little bit of push than going to the gym really wasn't, I wasn't committing myself as much as I should. So, but the whole family get involved with that, which is great fun. And then you end up, it changes your way of life, really. So at the weekends, instead of just getting up and, I don't know what we would have done. We've been working DIY on the house for, it feels like about 35 years. I'm sure it's not quite that long, but I think we're almost there now. So I find, what do normal people do at weekends when they're not digging holes in the garden and stuff? So just getting back into hobbies and exciting things. But and you know me, Glenys, you know my thing is shoes. So whenever I get
always has fabulous shoes on whenever I've seen her. Yes, just irritated we're not the same size. What can I tell you? Yeah.
I do like shoe shopping, definitely, but boys don't really enjoy that very much.
No. It's I think it's that thing where you go, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's you need some time for you. And you know, I rarely go shopping with somebody else, because for me it's just time for me. Where I can wander, I can be productive, I can be not productive, and it's okay. I can spend quite a lot of time in one shop, and the shop I thought I was going to spend a lot of time in, I don't. It's really when me and beloved are together, he calls it poodling around. And sometimes I just like to poodle around on my own, with no conversation about why I need to go in this one and which bit am I looking. No, I might not be looking at everything that I thought I was looking for. That's not how shopping goes, really, is it? So
and you don't need accountability when it comes to shopping.
No. And the thing is, there are people watching this going, oh God, 2 women talking about shoes. It's okay. I can get quite excited about all sorts of things that
Me too.
are for the house. I mean, you know, we've sort of finished this house, but then you start again, I think. But we can have long conversations about things that you think, oh, I never thought I'd get that excited about that. You know, power showers is my beloved regular. You know, when I would redo one of the bathrooms, and that sounds terribly pretentious, but I've got a rather large house and it's got 2 bathrooms because I don't like sharing. And it's that thing of he has no interest apart from, as long as he's got a power shower, he's happy. So we spend quite a lot of time looking at power showers, and you know, and picking up your theme as well, gym equipment. I can spend quite a lot of time looking at gym equipment, except I buy stuff and then I think, no, probably not for me. I do hula hooping every day, and I bought myself one of the new ones, and I'm a child of the 50s, so it was the thing. Everybody I know who's my age can do a hula hoop. I got one of the new, it's like a caterpillar type tread with a big weight on it. I can't do it, and I keep bruising myself trying, but it's okay. I'm going to master it. It's going to be my thing this year, you know, which is pretty sad if that's your only thing, isn't it? Maybe I should set myself some more challenges. So, you know, I knew this was going to be a blast. I knew this was going to be really relaxed and fantastic. So thank you for your time. Thank you, Sam. It's been wonderful. And for anybody who's watching this and wondering what the flipping heck's going on, can you watch this to the end? Because otherwise you mess with the algorithms, and we're not that kind of people. Also, subscribe to the channel. If you could comment and like and tell your friends, and come back next week, because I'll probably be on my own. And if you don't turn up, I'm talking to myself. And again, Sam, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been great fun. Have fun out there, and see you next week. Bye.